Hey guys, we just got out of 1917, and we're gonna talk about it a little bit. We're gonna try not to spoil anything, but we can't promise anything.
We will add right here whether or not we actually are spoiler free or not. Great.
Great. So we just got out of 1917. We saw it just at a regular AMC, no IMAX or anything. It's bonkers. It's like 2 hours of just nonstop, like your whole body is tense because I don't want to diminish like people who have been in actual war, but it felt like being in a war zone. It was crazy.
Yeah, I if it doesn't do exceedingly well at the Oscars, I will be very surprised because it doesn't like it simultaneously is like what you expect and nothing like you'd expect whatsoever.
And Oscar nominations are tomorrow morning. It's Sunday night that we saw this.
We'll be making a video about that soon, so keep
at some point, yeah.
Keep watch out for that.
Watch out for that. Okay. So should we want to talk about the one shot, one take gimmick?
Yeah, so if you don't already know, 1917 is done as if it was all one take, except for one moment where there is a fairly long cut. Like, it goes to
It's
black.
a cut to black.
And it cuts to black for, like, longer than comfortable.
About 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Probably. And there's a reason for it. It's motivated by the story why there's a cut to black. Mm-hmm. But really, I mean, it's a 2-hour-long movie with one cut, essentially.
Mm-hmm. And this is not the first movie to do this. Birdman also did this. It won Best Picture.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly what year.
I think, did it win Best Cinematography?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'd Google it, but we're recording this on my phone.
I can Google.
Okay. But yeah, this did it. This did the whole one take gimmick, just amazingly. Especially because they're in a war zone. There's like hundreds of people in some of the shots all at once, mm-hmm. and then they'll just keep going. And if you know what to look for, you can kind of tell where the cuts might be. But it was crazy. I mean, it just kept going, and you were so on edge. Because you didn't know, the trees over there or the building around the corner, is somebody going to start shooting at this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Or these guys.
And going back to the Birdman thing, I think that's one of the reasons why, like, I like this so much more, because Birdman, you're, like, so consciously aware that they're not cutting, but in this, there was so much action happening all the time. Or at least you were on the edge of your seat with anticipation that you never really even thought about the fact that they weren't cutting. At least I didn't.
I think Deakins is probably going to get the Oscar for this.
I think so. And it did win Best Cinematography. It won a lot of
for
things.
Lebesky or Lebesky?
In 2015.
Okay, so
it won a lot of things.
The last movie to do this gimmick successfully won.
And I think this was so much more successful.
I think so too.
Because I don't like Birdman.
Oh, I like Birdman. This is better than Birdman.
This is so much better than Birdman.
And Birdman is pretty obvious when it's like, oh, what's that over there? Oh, cut. Okay, we're back.
Birdman makes me motion sick and the plot is boring.
But as far as performances go, the lead actor, George McKay, and then what was the other guy's name? I don't remember. But they're both phenomenal in it.
Oh my gosh. And I swear they must be theatrically trained, because some of the moments I was like, wow, that's just such a pure expression of your inner self, and that's something you learn in theater.
And it was so strange that you've got these two lead guys who you don't, I mean, I'm sure I've seen both of them in movies before. I know I've seen George McKay before, mm-hmm. but and then they just walk into a room and Benedict Cumberbatch or some other really famous person will be there, and that famous person will say like 3 sentences,
and that's it.
And then you never see them again.
It's like a reversal of what you'd expect, which is the whole movie. The whole movie, it redefines what a war movie is.
Oh yeah.
And I want to talk a little bit about the genre cycle. So I took a horror movie class last semester, and in it we talked a lot about the genre cycle. So there's the first stage of the genre cycle is the primitive stage, where you don't even know what kind of movie you're creating, you're just making movies. And doesn't have a genre yet, it's just what it is. And then we move into the classical stage, which is when we really, really like solidify the rules of this genre, this is what this genre is. Then we go into the revisionist stage, and that's where this movie takes war movies. It recognizes all of the rules and all of the things that you'd expect from a genre, and it decides to just break them all and really push the limits of what the genre can mean, and that's what this movie does. And normally when that happens, you get a whole resurgence of this type of movie. So I would expect to see a lot more war movies coming out in the next like 4 to 5 years that are changing what we even think about war movies. If you're curious, the next stage is the parodic stage. Thank you, car over there.
We're in a parking garage.
So when you start making parodies of the genre.
Yeah.
We're in the revisionist stage, and it's awesome to see us like first make those steps into the revisionist stage.
Sound design. Sound design was great.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, as far as war sound goes, I think Dunkirk was probably a little bit better. But the sound design was phenomenal. You really felt engrossed in what was going on.
Jumping off of that, the score was also
the
beautiful.
score was phenomenal.
Especially like the one song they play it in the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, then you know what song I'm talking about. It gives me chills every time.
Yeah. I mean, my mind generally is just blown. This is an excellent film.
Mm-hmm. Like honestly, it could even win like the Oscar for best song just with that song.
Maybe.
Is that
yeah.
a new song or is that like an actual war song? I don't know.
No, I think I've heard that song before.
If anybody knows, let me know.
I think it's an old song.
Okay, it gives me chills.
I don't know how much they would have to change it to be eligible.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. We can cut that part out because it doesn't make sense.
Like a person standing in front of my car.
And they're like yelling at each other.
Yeah. Okay, that's awkward.
Maybe we shouldn't make movies in.
We're trying to waste time and we can't go anywhere, so we're doing this.
We're waiting for Mission Taco to start selling $2 tacos.
We are waiting for Mission Taco to start selling $2 tacos.
Keep it relatable.
Keep it relatable. But yeah, just mind-blowingly good. I don't know, what else should we talk about?
I think one of the reasons that I liked it so much was also that even though it's in this revisionist stage and it's pushing the boundaries of what the war movie genre can be, it narratively is very classically narrative structured. Like incredibly so. It's like a hero's journey, it's all that stuff, and it also follows, I believe, it follows Aristotle's 3 unities. So Aristotle wrote a lot about theater, and one of the things he wrote was that the best plays, obviously there weren't movies in Aristotle's time, but follow 3 unities: the unity of time, the unity of space, and the unity of plot. I'm not sure if it's called the unity of plot. I call it the unity of plot in my head because that's what it is. So with the unity of space, that means that you stay relatively in the same space for the entire play. Now, they don't necessarily follow this one in the movie, but I still think they achieve the same sort of thing because we don't jump from one place to another place.
They stay within...
Because we never cut.
Yeah, they stay within the same... What did they say? It was like 6 miles?
Yeah, so I think it still follows the unity of place. Like, he goes to different places, but you're with him the entire journey. You never are, like, in one spot, and then we cut to another spot, obviously, because we don't cut at all.
And it never cuts to any other characters, either. It's with these two the whole time.
And that goes to the unity of plot. There's only one plot. There's not a million subplots. There's not, like, all these little things that you have to tie up at the end. It's just one plot. We have to get to the other, what's the word? I'm not good at military
Objective?
terms.
Or...
Group of soldiers. We have to get to
trench.
the other...
For World War I, it'd be a trench.
We have to get to the other trench. We have to give them the message. That's the objective the whole time. That's the whole plot. And that's enough, because that's literally life or death stakes. That's really important.
The plot is very straightforward in this.
And that's what Aristotle would say is a really good thing.
Yeah.
The third unity is the unity of time, which means that the entire story takes place within 24 hours, which it does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's just pretty straightforward. But it's really, really hard to come up with compelling stories that follow these 3 unities, but I think they did it successfully, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's just so satisfying to see, is because it's simple, but it's powerful.
When I was watching it, I kept thinking about, like, two or three people would be talking, like, oh, this is when you would cut to the reverse shot for the conversation. But they don't. They just stick on whatever they're. They'll look at this guy, and maybe they'll go over and look at the other guy, but it's never like that. It's all very fluid. I think Roger Deakins is kind of showing off here a bit.
He's gonna win.
Oh yeah, especially with some of the shots that like go up and down, and then they go like inches above the water, and then it goes up, and then it goes over a building, and it just doesn't cut. It's insane.
Yeah, there's one part near the beginning where they're looking at a map, and what's the guy's name? The actor.
Colin Firth.
Yeah, Colin Firth. I knew it was Colin something. Colin Firth is like showing them things on a map, and you like never see their reaction to it. You just see him pointing at the map because you know it's just really cool. I don't know.
There's a lot of like what you
expect.
wouldn't expect. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for now.
Yeah, this is a short one. Sorry if it's a little jumbled. We didn't really have time.
It's already 10.5 minutes.
We didn't really have time to organize our thoughts.
I don't know. Do you think we spoiled anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool. Then we don't have to go back, and I don't have to really edit anything.
Are you just going to post it now?
I might. I don't know. Is there any reason not to?
I mean, I did say we should cut some things out, but...
Oh, okay.
Oh, well. You don't have to.
Okay.
Relatable. Hashtag relatable.
Hashtag relatable. Okay. That's all?
Yeah.
Okay. Go see it. If you can handle a war movie, it is very intense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of... It's not overly gruesome. It's not like they're going out of their way to, like, show you gross things, but they're very realistic about what a World War I battlefield would look like.
Sorry if I just made a weird face. There was a car doing a strange thing.
Oh.
It wasn't in response to Mitch.
Yeah, just if you like war movies, I think you'll really like this one.
Yeah, I'm not a big war movie person, and I really, really liked this one. So as long as war movies don't, like, freak you out, like, go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.